A surprising amount of people have asked me about where can they go to buy some of these Chinese made watches other than Aliexpress. Now, of course, there are other places you can buy them because some people aren't comfortable buying from Aliexpress. Today, I want to show you the official website from San Martin and share with you 10 of my favorite watches that are on that store. Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I am talking about watches, and I'm talking about 10 San Martin watches, 10 of my favorite San Martins, not on AliExpress today, but on the official website from San Martin. I'm going to leave a link directly to the website down below, but otherwise you can just Google San Martin and you'll find the official web page there. Now, one of the benefits of the official web store versus AliExpress is the format of that website. I find that it is easier to find the watches, easier to look at the pictures, they are better pictures, the dimensions are sort of listed easier, and there is some more information that is slightly easier to consume. So even sometimes if I don't buy from the official website, sometimes I'll at least go there to check out the watches to get a better understanding of the watch and then go find the watch for the best price that I can. But today I'm going to share with you on this website, I'm going to share with you the things that I like about this website, and to do that I'm going to show you the 10 favorite watches that I have on it. So here basically is their website, fairly simply laid out, all the watches, the new arrivals, the top sales of watches there, bits and pieces. There's a bit of a sale going on. There's always some sales going on. Even if you're not buying on AliExpress, there's still sales to be had. But as you can see, it's kind of a little bit sort of displayed a little bit easier to look at. So let's start with the first watch that I want to show you. And it is probably one of my favorite San Martins that has been grabbing my attention recently. Obviously, this is not an original design, but look how easy it's to sort of display there. Nice and sort of clear. I'm showing it in US dollars, but you can then flick between currencies nice and easy. Tells you that it is the San Martin and Watch Dives exclusive 38mm GMT Seiko NH34 movement. And the price is listed there, $279 US dollars. You can quite easily then flick between photos. And I know you can do this on AliExpress as well, but it just seems to have a slightly more user-friendly experience. Nice close-in photos as well. I seem to find that there's better photos on here than on AliExpress. And as I said, it's just nice to be able to sort of see these watches in a little bit more detail. But my favorite part is just when you scroll down just a little bit, there's all the information you want to know, all nicely spaced out and easy to consume and read. There's no weird sort of changes and sort of translations from Chinese to English. It's all written there nice and clear, giving you the dimensions of the watch, the specifications of the watch, the warranties, etc. So that's probably one of my favorite watches at the moment, a couple of different variations of it. But let's jump into my next one that I want to look at. I wanted to mention this one because it is one of their new releases and it has been a little bit popular at the moment. I do see why it has been popular. I do particularly like this black dial version. I don't think it's one that I'm going to buy for myself, however, but I do like that they're doing something different. And again, see, new Turbine Pilot, men's NH35, so you know it's a Seiko movement. There's the model number, $201. You can flick back and forth between the two dial colors and scroll down straight away to all the specifications and the dimensions. This one being a 39.5mm without the crown, lug to lug 46.5. See, it's nicely spaced out there, very easy to read, get a bit of an understanding of all the bits and pieces of the particular watch. The next one is probably one of the most popular watches I think San Martin sells, and it's the GMT here. This one here is the SN054G-E, 148 US dollars. Because this one's been out for some time now, I think it is getting cheaper. Also shows you how many have been sold, so you can see how popular it is. You can jump back and forth between the different versions. You can then look at some of the more close-up photos, look at the dimensions and things even just through that photo. And I like how they do some of this macro stuff as well, because I don't seem to find that on AliExpress. So I do like seeing some macro photography of these watches. Gives you an understanding of how good the polishing is, how good the brushing is, what that sort of dial layout is, and sort of seeing the transition from the sort of outer edges of the hands onto that dial. And again, let's just scroll straight down and there we go, straight into it. We know that it's an NH34 GMT. It says it's a GMT there, 41 hours of power reserve, 39mm case, 40mm bezel. So they're giving you a lot of nice, easy to consume information. I guess I don't need to keep saying that, I've said it a few times, but see, I think you can sort of get the understanding that you can just go back and forth, here to here, understand better about the watch, which ones are available, and then see what is actually going on with that watch. The next one is a newer release and it has grabbed my attention. It's funny because the watch that this one is homaging, I've actually tried it on a few times and it hasn't ever really excited me, especially at the prices that they are charging for it. But this one, I actually seem to like this one more than the original for some reason, and it's probably got to do with the price being $258 US. Some codes here that you can get some discounts as well. It's the Leyenda diver, not the Legend diver, the Leyenda diver. That's quite an interesting sort of way of putting it. Green, blue, and black. Black's out of stock there at the moment. Scrolling down, see, nice and easy. I do like it. This is a Watch Dives and San Martin collaboration, which generally means that they come out on Watch Dives website, but then they slowly work their way across to the other San Martin sort of stores or Aliexpress or this particular website. 39mm, 48mm lug to lug. Yeah, I quite like that one. I wouldn't mind getting hands-on with that one. It looks very cool. But next up we've got another GMT, and this has probably been one of their most popular of recent date. As you can see, 170 of them sold, $265 US. Seems to have sold out some of their other color variations, which is okay for me because I would be going for this white one, and I've watched so many videos about this particular watch. It has grabbed my attention. Yeah, all in the title, GMT 39mm SN0129. But as you can see, yeah, some nice close-up photos of the case, of the dial, some action shots there. Really like having that sort of detail, because one of the reasons why I make videos about watches is to show watches in more detail. So if people are buying a watch, they can actually see it in more detail. So to be able to go into a website that has 40 photographs of a watch, some nice close-up shots of that, really makes the buying decision a little bit easier, so you can actually sort of get an idea about if it's the watch for you. GMT, NH34, 39mm, 46.5 lug to lug, thickness of 13mm, 145 grams. Yeah, I've seen videos about this, and I'm sure you've probably seen some videos about this one. You can see Jody's done one and Gary's done one, so there's some good information and videos about this particular watch out there, so I probably don't need to talk more about it. Next up, we've got probably one of my most favorite watches at the moment from them as well, and it's this particular one here. Obviously a Aqua Terra homage here, but it's just a really nice sort of version of it. It's not exactly the same, there's a few different changes, and for $239, it looks very good, especially if you get another $30 off. And you can see it has been quite popular because there's been 192 of them sold. And again, look, 33 photographs, so you can just flick through them. Let's have a look, see, let's get some close-ups of this one, because there's going to be some nice close-up shots. Look, close-up of the case, some close-ups of the dial. They're really showing off the watch, and San Martin's good for this because they are actually making some reasonably quality watches. They don't mind going into detail and showing you some macro photos because the watches speak for themselves. Let's scroll down and just have a look at the sort of specifications of this particular one. Yep, NH35, which is perfectly fine because there is a date window there, 38mm by 44. Yeah, what a great looking watch. Yeah, I've got my eye on this one, in particular the blue calendar. Oh, here we go, there we go. This one here, I do love that blue, light blue, very cool. Now I had to put this one on the list. This is one of my first San Martins that I ever bought. This is one of the newer generations of it, the 6200 Retro Diver, the SN04GA for $193. It is a great watch. It no longer has that rivet bracelet, which for me is a bit of a disappointment because I love the rivet bracelet on it. But I can certainly say that this size, this style of watch is amazing. And I do like that it is doing it in a monochrome now. When I bought mine, I had to have the gilt, which was probably the actual only reason I ended up selling it, is because I'm not a huge gilt fan. That one there, yeah, I think that one's cool. Get rid of the Mercedes hands, get rid of the gilt. Looks fantastic. Get some nice close-up shots of it. Yeah, they're really happy to sort of show you in detail their watches because they know that the product is actually quality. You can also get it with and without a logo, which is quite nice. And here we go, specifications, 38mm, lovely size, especially for my 17 centimeter wrist, lug to lug of 46, all the information that you're going to need for this particular one. And there are heaps of videos about this particular watch online. So if you are ever interested in this particular model, check out some videos that are available. Well, I had to put a pilot watch on this particular list and a sub-second pilot watch because, well, it's one of my favorite styles of watches. And you can see there's been a few sold. 59, this is the SN0117G. Look here, I just quite like this. It's the only sort of color variation. There was an NH35 version. This is the seagull movement version, but it does have that sub-second registry that I quite like. It's just a very cool watch, and being a 41mm, it's actually a really nice size for a pilot watch. Some pilot watches I have in my collection are a little bit too big, but I don't mind that, and some of them are the right size. This one actually seems quite right. And look how detailed and how close that photo is, showing you how crisp the applied numbers or the printed numbers, how nice the blue hands look. Yeah, they really are happy to sell their products and show them off properly. Scrolling down, you can see a little bit more information about this particular watch. 41mm, lug to lug of 50. Some people think that's a little bit big, but I think for this style of watch, that's actually very achievable and perfectly fine. Only 9.8mm thick, which is pretty amazing. It's probably because it's maybe a hand winding movement. Let's have a look here. It's a manual mechanical movement. See, I love the NH35 movement, but for this particular watch, I'd be picking that seagull movement. Now, a titanium version of one of my absolute favorite San Martin watches. I like it in the blue personally, with no calendar. This one here, this is the one that I owned, except I didn't own the titanium. I prefer stainless steel in general, but I think it's nice to have that titanium option, especially for only $258 US. And you can see quite a few people have thought the same thing because there's been 218 of them sold. This one, of course, is the SN0121T, which is the titanium, I'm assuming. And again, when you scroll through these, they're going to have some nice close-up photos, and it's nice that they show things like the back of the case. The amount of times you look at ads for watches and they don't really show enough photos, and I go, well, what does the case back look like? What does this look like? What do the hands look like when they're close up? Look at the sort of transition there. Very, very good. I love this website to look at the San Martin watches. I already know these dimensions well because I owned one, but you can see very good dimensions, and because it's titanium, only 100 grams. The last one on the list is a bit of a repeat of an earlier one, but I just saw this marble dial and I thought, wow, that's very cool. I'm not sure if I've seen that before. I've seen the aventurine version of it. I think I've even seen this random sort of blue lapis sort of dial, but it's the white marble. I don't think I'd seen that before. Not really much more to talk about with this one because we've already sort of discussed the same case earlier. Lots of videos about it. Lots of videos about this aventurine one, but it's the white marble. Let's see if we can flick back to that. Yeah. That's a bit different. I quite like that. I like that San Martin's doing some different things. Again, NH34, $303, and obviously there's been a few of them sold as well. No point talking more about the sort of the size and dimensions because we've already done that. And I think, if nothing else, I think this website is definitely worth looking at for the better photos, the better descriptions, the better understanding, and definitely also consider the prices, because if you're looking at various web stores or looking at Aliexpress, you've got some options then. You can just pick the one that has the best price. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Maybe check these two videos out next.